Hey tribe, good morning, good morning. As you're seeing this, hopefully I'm gallivanting across, maybe with some of our good friends in Belgium. We're doing a bike tour this week, and then I'm going to be spending 2 weeks in Amsterdam and where else? Belgium, Amsterdam, Germany, and then heading over to Ireland. 2 weeks with my dad, who doesn't usually travel. So I'm super stoked to be on this trip. But that said, want to make sure that you guys get your weekly dose of Manifest Monday Mindset Call. So normally we're live. If you're just joining us or seeing this recording, normally we all jump on live every Monday, 9 to 9:30 a.m. We welcome you, invite your friends, invite whoever you feel could use a boost. Or if you have a lot of high energy and you just want to have a place to share, we connect. I would love to know if you're watching this. Go to the WhatsApp community. Make sure you type the things, as we'll start every single week the way we always start. The things that you're grateful for, the things that give you love, that give you joy, that gave you peace this past week, this weekend. Think of those things in your life. You're just like, wow, this is a gift, right? For some of us, it's kids. For some of us, it's experiences. For me, I know when I have this unbelievable taste, if there's so much effort that's put into a dish of food, my taste buds go completely nuts, and I'm like, oh my god, this is what life's all about, right? Any other foodies with me? Anybody? So make sure you type into the chat, type things that you're grateful for, that make you feel love, joy, and appreciation. That's how we start, by raising our vibration every single Monday morning. Next, I always have a topic, right? This particular topic, I wanted to try to share, maybe be a little vulnerable, but we had an experience at our home. It was late September? Yeah, in late September or mid-September. And that experience, for some of you, it's not really a secret anymore. So about 5 years ago, most of you know my story, so I'll be really, really fast. I go back to my story because it's mine and it's something I can always point to and relate with. About 5 years ago, when I was going through my divorce, that's really where I had my awakening journey. Awakening being what is life for? What's it all about? Maybe it's not all about work. And that led me to, yoga, meditation, breath work. It led me to all of these modalities that showed me and gave me a relationship with something that was deeper than my external circumstances, if that makes sense, right? So looking inward instead of constantly looking outward externally for stimulation, for approval, that sort of thing. That will be another whole topic that I want to do, because I was a people pleaser for years and years and years. So that'll be another topic. But for right now, 5 years ago is when that awakening happened. And I found a whole new version of me, right? By doing journaling, even though you don't want, I didn't want to do it, right? I was supposed to check a box, right? There's even a few people in this group. We were all part of this men's group, and it was called Warrior. And that was really where I'd heard of meditation before, I had heard of journaling before, but in this specific group, kind of a masculine, aggressive group, do 28 points or die. You must meditate every single morning. You must journal for 15 minutes every single morning. You must have a green smoothie every single morning for this minute. And for me, it got me in the habit of, I was already working out, I was already doing certain things that benefited me, but it got me in the habit of meditating and then journaling about what happened in the meditation, even if nothing happened in the meditation. And that habit, while I never really wanted to do it, it served me for a really long time. So, but some of you know, some of you don't know, and I'm just going to share here. In January of 2020, I forget if it was 21 or 22, there was another colleague of mine. His name is John. He was from the Washington, D.C. area, super high level in real estate, right? Crushing 100 deals a year. He was flipping mobile home parks and getting crazy wholesale fees, $250,000 wholesale fees. And he and I were always on Facebook posting about the same things, right? Crushing another, 3 deals in the pipeline, raising some private money, picking up another 50 units this month, we were all over the place, right? And why not share on social media where the top 1% highlight reels of everybody's life is? So he posted, I'll never forget it. He said, I just want my life to be flowy. I want like 3 set appointments a week, but I want to make the same amount of money that I do right now. And I was pissed. I was a little triggered. And I reached out to him and I said, John, what the fuck? I want to be flowy. How are you flowy? And he's like, oh, you have to reach out to this couple, Bobby and Peggy. And I was like, okay. So I called this couple. And immediately it was funny because this guy, Bobby, who actually had a lot of experience in real estate, he's just trying to coach me in like real estate over the phone. And I was like, no, Bobby, I got this down. In fact, I'm being triggered. I don't want to talk about real estate right now or business or anything. I want to know how to be flowy. John said you can make me flowy. And Bobby said, well, if you trust John and you want to come join us, we'll have a retreat that's going to be near you in July. It'll be in New Jersey. It's like 4-hour drive. Like, come join us. Have faith. Sign up. You can forget about it. And I did. I signed up for this retreat. Had no idea what it was. And I will spare the details of what happened in those next 6 months in my business world. For those of you who've read my burnout email, you pretty much saw all the shit that went down in those 6 months that I had no idea was even coming, right? And I took all of that as baggage a little bit, and I had signed up for this retreat. So first, before the retreat happens, I'll go through the entire story. Before the retreat happens, I don't have any details. I don't have an address. I don't have details. I don't have anything. So the date's looming, and all of a sudden, I start going keyboard like warrior, like what's happening here? And then they change the date from Friday night to Saturday night. And I go, once again, completely triggered because my world in that year was completely run and structured with zero space and zero time for me and zero anything for self-love or self-anything. So I'm giving you the picture. Some of you might be living like that now, where you literally live your life moment to moment in your calendar. Like every 5 minutes is booked. I had zero space in between. And I say, what the actual fuck? You can't change the date on me. You don't understand my life, right? I have a custody schedule with my ex-wife. I have work stuff on Friday. I have to now move it. Like, you can't do this. And Bobby calls me and he said, hey, your journey began the moment you signed up for this retreat in January. I was like, okay. I have no idea what that means, and I was still angry about it. Finally get the email. It says it's an overnight. I bring my little overnight. I feel like a stupid camper. I drive 4 hours south. I show up at the door of this house, and I have a little, like a pillow under my arm and a sleeping bag, and I'm like, what am I doing here, right? And he answers the door, and he welcomes me in, and he said, welcome. Like, here's where we all kind of hang out. He pointed to a big living room where there's a lot of mats and things down. This is kind of where we all hang out as a community, and we can chat, and we can create, and we can talk about things. And there's also, these bedrooms downstairs. If you want to do some inner work, you want to kind of be by yourself, you can pick one of these bedrooms down here. And I looked at all the mattresses on the floor, and I was thinking to myself, like, is this an orgy? Because I'm not into this, right? This isn't my thing. And as I was like thinking that, a mother and wife entered through the door. And they were just so nice and so polite, and just their energy was beautiful. And I was like, can you tell me what this is? They say, oh, we follow this couple all around the country. They do these things quarterly, and they serve these medicines. And with these medicines, Peggy is also this big intuit. So she intuitively, is a psychic. So she brought us through past lives together. She helps us with different life decisions. And tonight, she said to me, I brought my daughter, who's 19 years old. She and I are going to experience past lives together. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. What am I doing here? And did she say medicines? Like, what does that even mean? At the moment, I had never even tried cannabis or THC. Alcohol was kind of my thing for years. And then another man shows up, a very high-powered Wall Street attorney or corporate attorney. And he's there to connect with his husband who had passed away 2 weeks prior. And then, while I won't say their names, a couple of very famous actors and actresses walked in. And I thought, okay, these are all high-level people. I'm in the right room. So in this moment, I'm already here. I drove 4 hours. I made the choice. I trusted John. I'm here to be flowy. So here we go. Whatever this means, it means. My first letting go. And I'm going to share you this experience for me. In this night, they sat us around. We talked about, our rating scale from a scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you to be here? Number 1 being, what the hell am I doing here? And number 10 being, I'm ready, let's go. And I was a 1 or a 2. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't really know what this is. I'm scared, but I was told that I want to be flowy, and that's why I'm here. So, there's some chuckles, and some people around the room, like, they were all 9s and 10s. And then we get to intentions. My intention was to be flowy, without even really knowing what that meant. But I knew that I wasn't flowy. I was anything but flowy. So as we get to intentions, they then say, we're going to step aside and we're going to have a prayer. A few songs come on the playlist. And once this prayer comes on, we're going to come back and we're going to serve plant medicine. Plant medicine, whatever the hell that means. And then you take your first pill after we do a prayer and the songs come on. And once a certain song comes on the playlist, we want you just to settle in, just to really feel this and have that medicine start to take effect. So I didn't really have time to think, because if I thought about it, probably wouldn't have done it, right? This was very good at doing one thing, which is keeping me safe. So lots of things in my life, this would say no to, right? It also says no to the good things, like jumping off a 100-foot cliff. But it also says no to jumping off like a 6-foot cliff when everybody else is having a blast. And I had an intuition feeling that this was a safe place and safe thing for me to do. And I trusted my friend John. I took the first pill. Talking with people in the room, everyone was just this beautiful soul. Everybody was like just sharing and wide open. And you wouldn't know that they were high-powered, corporate Wall Street attorneys, or that these people had been badass actors and actresses that have to be back on set in like 17 hours. And it's just a really, really, really beautiful space. And then the music came on and we were told to lay down. And I remember in this beautiful, beautiful prayer, it's called the Devi Prayer. It's about 18 minutes long, and it's a beautiful song that just goes over and over again. And I remember, like, the instructions to me were to, feel the song, lay down for 20 minutes, and then once the song's over, you'll hear a new song. You can sit up, you can look around, you can talk to people, you can chat, you can do whatever you want. So the song wasn't quite over yet, and I disobeyed the instructions. I opened my eyes before the song finished, and I remember thinking to myself, wow, the room's spinning. I don't know if I like that. And the mind, for me, jumped right in. Don't worry, we're going to fucking fight this shit off. We got you. So then the mind started to work, saying, heart, pump a little faster. Let's get this stuff out. Let's get this stuff out. Meanwhile, I was perfectly, completely safe. I had just not been used to ever opening my eyes and not seeing what I thought was supposed to be there. So as the music ended, Bobby sees me and he comes right over and he sits down next to me and he says, how are you feeling? And I said, talking helps, because I didn't really know what I was feeling. And I was a little scared. So we sat down and he told me his entire story, which I won't share here. But he was also an extremely powerful, productive man. Made millions and millions and millions of dollars. Real estate was also his tool. And you would know what companies he got involved with if I shared it. But he's talking and telling me the story about how he went through all this and they took up a fight against the IRS and didn't do well. And he became a really miserable person, right, with his family and himself. And while his talk was completely resonating with every single being of my soul, the more beautiful thing happened. There was a voice in my head, just like there's a voice in your head. And ever since you're 2 years old or 1 year old, it starts. If you do this, then you'll be safe. If you do this, then you'll be loved. If you do this, you'll be part of a tribe. If you do this, then you get praise. If you do this, you'll fit in with this crowd. Okay, now that we've done that, what can we do that's more? What can we do that's better? What can we do that shows people that you are a big deal? What can we do? That little voice that we talk about in this call every Monday. It was this and this and this and this and this. Even the fear of that day, right? Like, what are you doing here? This is ridiculous. Oh my God, you're going to take something you don't know what it is. And what are these people here? And all of the... It stopped. It was the first moment in my life that voice stopped for me. even with my meditation and the breath work and now yoga, it's very difficult to point to one time in my life when that little internal voice, which is really just the program of the mind, right? When it just stopped and gave peace. And with that peace came everything. It came no judgment with me or with anyone. I was completely conscious, completely in control of everything, completely in control of my experience. I could or could not bring things up. I could or could not talk to other people. I could or could not receive what others are telling me, but I was so unbelievably present in that moment and for the entire evening. And the things that happened in that evening that opened up for me when for the first time in my life, this wasn't leading. This was following something that I didn't even know what it was. I was able to do this thing that you might have heard before called dropping into your heart. But what does that even mean? I didn't know what that meant. I'd been so disconnected from heart and from my body for so many years, for so many reasons. And this beautiful, beautiful medicine that comes from the earth was able to have me realign with what was really, really, really important. And that night was the first time I understood what it was like to drop into your heart. And in dropping into your heart, you start to realize and see things and experience things. You remember who you are at a deep soul level. You start to see that every single person is deeply connected. We're all the same, but we're all so different. We have different lenses that we're walking through life on. We're all on our own soul journeys, doing different things and overcoming different challenges. And we're all completely unlimited, which is why we started Life Unlimited. We're all completely unlimited once we learn to make this the servant instead of the leader. I share all that story with you because that was one of the most beautiful, beautiful nights of my life. And I did have a couple of visuals, but it was more just the feeling. And then having been in a car accident when I was like 18 years old, I'd been seeing chiropractors since I was 18, and I'm 43 now, for this thing in my upper back and my upper neck, and it would always kind of unalign or misalign every single week. And I woke up the next morning after this beautiful, beautiful night, and I never forget, it was the first day in probably 25 or 30 years that I did not feel the pain was gone, and I could move my neck completely around. All of these things. I said, what is this? What is this? What beauty and what is this? And is this something that's good, right? Is this something that is given to us by the universe, by God to experience, or is this the devil's work, right? Like the Catholics would say. And in my work after that moment, after that evening of having that experience and knowing that I needed to learn more, that's what began the deeper awakening. So I had my awakening 5 years ago, and then my awakening with plant medicines, with deep earth, with all of these modalities that I then worked through, right? Going to other shamans, going to other spiritual guides and coaches, learning what these compounds were, learning what they do with our bodies, minds, hearts, and spirits, because they do touch all of it. And then just like me, learning the difference that they can make with others when they are so focused in producing and achieving and doing all those things because we're told to as kids. And this also keeps us safe. And so we're told to not do those things. And it's uncomfortable to do that. And it's, you're safe if. The answer is no. Like, don't. Limit. Everything's limiting. A limitation. And when you learn to drop into your heart, which you don't need medicine for, you can do it with breath work. You can do it with yoga. You can do it with extreme exercise. You can do it with meditation. But I like to say that for some of the strongest minds out there, there's also beautiful allies that God and the universe have given us to find out and remember who we are. Because what if that's the only journey? What if the only point of you being here on this earth, on this planet, is to remember who you are as a soul? and to overcome the challenges that you put forth for yourselves before you even came into this body. This sounds crazy. And if you're still with me, I appreciate you so much. And if you're not, I still love and appreciate you. But I've come to realize and know, not even have faith, I know this is the truth for the things that I have seen, the things that I have learned. And now, full circle, we put these beautiful ceremonies on in our home every quarter. So that's the top thing and the most precious thing that's on my mind today during this Manifest Monday call is I wanted to at least share with you my experience and know that the changes that so many of you have seen in me over the past 5 years and then the past 3. It's no secret that plant medicines and certain psychoactives and psychedelics have been a major impact on me understanding what is real, which voice is real, the heart voice or the mind voice, which one's talking to me right now, which one's my intuition and the voice of which I follow, and which one is just the one that's the program that goes on and on and on and on. You can always know because if it brings up feelings at all of fear, anxiety, scarcity, worry, this is this. Because the only voice that this talks about, it brings up feelings of love, abundance, joy, peace, excitement. That's the heart leading and this following. So we had a bunch of the people here within this tribe that I know come to these calls or see the recordings at our home last weekend. And it was just profoundly impactful for me to witness other people learning what it's like to drop out of their minds for maybe the first time in their entire lives and access this. And that brings me so much joy. So when we started this call and you bring up, for you, where's the joy? Where's the gratitude? Where's the love and the pride and the excitement for something that happened to you over the past week and a half? For me, it was doing my own work, and yet while doing my own work, witnessing the powerful, powerful changes that these beautiful, beautiful plants and allies have for us with people that are just, we're so locked up here and they can access here. And I saw couples completely reunite. And we have a beautiful, beautiful, like a testimony of, Dr. Ryan Hewitt, one of the chiropractors, the one who sees me. And he was there for my panic attack 3 years ago when it was 28 or die, do the meditations, do the journaling, do that. And I had the divorce and I had the businesses and I had all. He was right there when that panic attack happened. And they helped call the ambulance. And he and his wife were in our home. So I know that today was a big tangent. We don't normally just talk about these kinds of experiences because this specific group is not about plant medicines or using entheogens. This group is specifically about learning and being aware of what limitations are on us as humans, as imperfect human beings. And knowing that those limitations were the only ones we imposed on ourselves by learning as a child how to be safe, how to be loved, how to be accepted, and taking those same beliefs and stories through life that now still impact every single action or inaction that happens with us today. And whether you ever come to one of our ceremonies or not, or you're even part of our tribe for a long period of time or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you start to become aware of who you are. And know that every single struggle, challenge, things that you have in your life right now are opportunities for that growth and the reason you even came into this earth. So that was a lot. Thank you all for hanging out with me. We're at 25 minutes, so we're going to start and do our normal little meditation that we do before every week. So if you're still with me, take a deep breath in. We're going to drop into our hearts, give our minds a little bit of a break. Dear God, dear universe, dear all spirits and guides that are with us, this is another week that we get to live, we get to choose moment by moment who we are. We get to choose moment by moment what things we want to create. We also get to choose moment by moment which things we let go of. Knowing that every single moment is an acceptance and a release of different energies. We get to choose those which we are ready to let go of and allow room for those that are finally coming in for us to receive. We do not choose any of the negatives that our brain likes to go through as we go through all the times. We are not choosing any of those words. We don't choose fear. We're instead choosing love. We're not choosing any sort of scarcity feelings. We are choosing complete abundance. The whole world is wide open for us. And there's enough for everyone times a million. All we have to do is shift who we are from having our mind lead to having the heart lead. And remembering our three big questions. How do we show up better for us today? Who do we choose to show up for in a meaningful way? And number three, what's one step that we can take today that leads us towards that which brings us the most excitement or passion in our lives? Reminding ourselves that every single day can be filled with that excitement and passion if you choose. Every single moment can be filled with creation if you choose. It can be filled with love, happiness, and joy if you choose. And we love all parts of ourselves. And we accept all the parts of us that come to the surface to help us feel what we need to feel, to move into that infinite possibility of who we are. We'll seal this meditation with another deep breath in. Have an unbelievable week, everyone. You are so loved. And if I'm still on a trip, hopefully I'll have another recording next Monday, 9 to 9:30. Otherwise, I come back on October 16th. So we'll be having live again after that. Much love. See you soon.